this car's really fast. And now, I'm gonna drive it. In the Boston automotive community, this particular E55 AMG is kind of notorious for being a hellraiser. The owner of this car is gonna be selling it pretty soon, and I had to jump at a chance to drive this before it goes away for good. From the factory, this car was fast. It's a supercharged V8. The thing is, I'm a BMW guy. I don't know much about Mercedes. I haven't driven anything except for C63s and E63s. So when it comes to these supercharged cars, I've always heard good things. I've always heard exciting things about what they can do, but I've never experienced it. At a glance, this car is outrageously docile. I'm cruising down a back road. I'm happy. It's not on the air suspension right now. It's currently on these coilovers. So let's find out if it has what I think it has. Woohoo! Traction stepping way in. It dances. I'm trying to beat traction right now. Definitely a big car. I have a very big M5 vibe when I'm driving this because I need to be constantly thinking about weight transfer. And that weight transfer isn't just me tossing the car side to side, that's me on the throttle because this thing has so much torque that it wants to rip the rear end off of it at all times. Getting onto that on-ramp, I was immediately stopped by traction control telling me this is not okay. Keep in mind, I was at about 45% throttle. Back in the day when we were first getting kind of like Steptronic or whatever you want to call it systems, instead of having paddles, we've got little buttons here, so I can go and downshift. Not that I need to, because this thing has torque for days. It never even went over 4,000 RPM, and this thing screams. It might as well be diesel. It's so quiet too, like this thing isn't...
Inside it's quiet.
Yeah.
Inside it's quiet.
This is the kind of car where you've got to be very cautious about it in a corner because it has torque. That's about 60% throttle. See what she's got for brakes. Loads of brakes. I'm braking very early because I don't know this car very well and I don't really want to die on the highway while I'm driving it, especially because it's for sale. It's still very progressive. I love superchargers. I am not a turbo guy. I think it's a hoot when you've got a turbo that spools up nice and big and you get that big thrill when it finally kicks in. That's not my style. I like linear power bands, and unless that turbo's really small, you're not gonna get that, and then you're not gonna get the power out of it. Whereas superchargers, yeah, you make that big sacrifice because it's parasitic and it's gonna destroy your fuel economy. It's funny because the rear end just feels like it's on ice. It's a skating rink, and you're just kind of following it with your hands, and that's like a very enjoyable experience when you're in a car that's full leather, holds 5 people, could get us from A to B very quickly and or comfortably, depending on how scared your passengers are. For people that are really familiar with modern sports cars or modern sports sedans, I think this would start to feel a little antiquated. But to people like me who are E39 fans, who like old E-classes and stuff, this is a driving experience that's dying. This is going away. The sense that, like, you know, you have to put this much steering input to get what you want. I think a lot of people would not put enough in and be terrified when they try to find an apex in a corner. For people like me though, this is something that's really fun because there's this amazing feeling of hustling a boat. Let's do a little brake check. Jesus Christ!
So as I was saying,
but that was mid-conversation, guys. This throttle is so easy to modulate. Like, I can roll into this throttle coming out of a corner, not feeling like I'm about to go kick the tail out. When I first got into it and I gave it a little, 20% shove, it was dancing around. I'm like, oh shit, like this is gonna slip out on me. I do not feel comfortable on an on-ramp.
you are very smooth with your inputs.
Let it gently, yeah.
It is really rewarding.
Yeah, once you get a hang of this steering, and you're like, okay, cool, that's how much input we need.
Yep.
But roll into first. Nowhere near full throttle because we want to maintain traction. But if we get on a little bit, little tap of the brakes, feeling the grip through the corner, start to feed it on the exit, and out we go, and it's happy. I like this car.
Yeah, see?
This is the best sleeper of all time.
Yep.
I can't believe how quick this thing is. It just gets out of its own way like nothing's business. It's been quite some time since superchargers were being used in AMG cars. We're in the land of twin turbos now, where there are no naturally aspirated cars and there are no superchargers. I'm not anti-turbo, because the new turbos spool very quickly, they're small enough, there's two of them, we can make power. But there is a charm to a supercharged V8 that is unmatched, and I hope we have not seen the last of it. A little bit of arm work to keep it in line, but it just steps out like a hint.
Yeah.
A hint, like it's very controllable.
And it always does the same thing.
Third gear, I mean, I'm at 3,000 RPM right now. I'm not even full boot. Now that you've seen the car driving on the road, before you leave, why don't you check out this slow motion burnout? Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Don't forget to like it.